Circle Circle Radio, and Kia got me clowning because anyway, leave that man alone. He doing this. I'm trying to get my camera right. I like this. I like this. All right. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about a few things. It is debate eve, as finally the felon will be in a debate with the prosecutor, and I'm going to love every minute of it. That'll be tomorrow night. Apalacheehighschool the shooting that happened. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Bryan McKnight. Anyway, Tyreek Hill, right before the football game, the police decide they want to stop him in his Lamborghini and put him in handcuffs for the Miami Dolphins. Kia wants me to F them kids, and we'll let her go into why that is on my list. And RIP to the Rich Homie who's a rapper here out of the ATL. And I had to look him up, and when the song The Lifestyle came on, I said, oh, that was that song. All right. So check us out on all the socials. This is follow us on the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, and then the Twitches and all that good stuff. And so that is what it is. Man, everything just was going wild for me today. Like, I'm looking a little fuzzy over here because the lens on my camera wasn't acting right, and I switched about 3 lenses, and now I look like there's dust on.
You look like it's being shot with a handheld camcorder from 1996.
Oh, this doggone equipment I got. Let me say that a little better. Go ahead and fix that while I'm talking. So anyway, super producer.
What's up? How you doing? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Sorry we're late, but again, he had technical difficulties, and if you see my camera glitch, because we over here stealing services. So
it's just, here's the thing: we're in these internet streets, and when we do this show, we are in these internet streets, and so when it's all said and done, let's see if I hit reset. What happens? Nothing good. Things happen, and so but we're gonna have ourselves a little ball today. So anyway. So what's tops on your list for this week? Because it's so much going on. Where we
Shout out to intern Alexis, who she did this list. It was so small on Friday when we had a production meeting. I come in on Monday. It's like 45 things in here. So we're just about to play a little bit of Russian roulette. Let's see where we should start. There's so much stuff going on. Well, actually, let's start with the passing away of Rich Homie Quan. Rich Homie Quan was a well-known rapper. Some of you guys may know him from a song that we don't know the word.
Yeah, that's
funny story. We looked at the lyrics to the song, and those what he said are actually the lyrics to the first line of the song. So there's that. But
for all y'all out there who are Rich Homie Quan fans, y'all disrespecting my mans. I'm just having fun. RIP to the brother. Some people I really respect here in Atlanta speak very highly of Rich Homie Quan and the work he was doing in the community. But that song Lifestyle was something that me as an old head, we was clowning because of the song, but it was kind of catchy.
It was catchy, and he died in a very tragic way. So on Thursday, TMZ released audio of the 911 call authorities received from Quan's home. A woman who was Quan's longtime girlfriend of 15 years could be heard telling police he was not breathing and foaming out the mouth. Furthermore, the woman reportedly discovered him lying on their couch and recalled that he hadn't come to bed the night before. So he died of a drug overdose. So he didn't come to bed that night. So he had died sometime in the night and just had been there alone in the house. Yeah. And that's very tragic to wake up in the morning and just think, like I would think, or Tracy would think, oh, he just on the couch watching football, watching a movie. He didn't want to come to bed. And then you go just to walk past him and you realize your partner has passed away. And I think it's very interesting also.
I think it's really slimy that TMZ released this, and they released this audio very quickly. Like I think he passed Wednesday or Thursday morning, and this stuff was all out there and unedited. And I'm just saying to myself, like the 911 caller, the 911 dispatcher who released this, I hope they got a big check, because I'm assuming that they lost their job, right? For releasing this stuff. But it's got to be TMZ has got to have something on folks that we don't understand, because
Well, let me
So go
just let's
ahead.
take a step back from this
Yeah.
because there's actually public record reports. All 911 phone calls are public record.
Mm-hmm.
Even she could have probably lost her job, but legally she didn't do anything wrong. But 911 phone calls are public record. Anybody can request them. TMZ can request it at any time for this body cam footage. Body
Yeah.
cam requests can be made by anybody from TMZ to ABC to just a raggedy YouTuber online who wants who wants the video. So
Yeah.
it's just the day and age that we live in. And yes, body cam footage and 911 calls are great because they help solve crimes and they help keep people safe, even if cops are in the wrong. But then
Yeah.
we also have the situation where people use them for entertainment and salacious gossip.
Which this is. This is entertainment and salacious gossip, and it's disgusting to me uh, that they showcase these, the way they did, and I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't understand what the infatuation is for this type of stuff. But R.I.P. to the rich homie Quan. Just a sad story to see that.
One more thing, his
You
story
feel me?
actually gets more disturbing.
Yeah.
And listen to all you video H words out there, video girls out there. He passed away and he's been with his girlfriend for 15 years. Why did all these girlfriends that maybe he had on the side start posting these tributes to him of personal private photos, like personal private photos of them with him so the world can see? Like, why would you do that?
Because they trash. I mean, why they? You know what I mean?
All right.
That's what it boils down to. It's like this social media era that we're in has got folks chasing clicks and likes and all of this garbage, and I just sit back and you just have to you just have to wonder who raised these people, man. It's wild to me. It really is wild to
Yeah.
me. So, anywho, everything is acting funky today, so we're gonna keep it moving.
We're just going to
Um,
keep it moving. The next story that's really going on right now is the fact that, listen, parents of children, protect your weapons, protect your guns, because if your child does something, you are going to jail.
going to jail.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, go
Colin
ahead. Go ahead.
Gray, the father of the Appalachian high school shooter, was arraigned on not just child endangerment charges or reckless endangerment charges. He was indicted on excuse me, charged with first degree murder charges, child endangerment, and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And he was devastated in the courtroom. And I get
And
it.
the mother as well. The mother is also has been charged. You
But why
know,
when she called the school? That part doesn't make sense to me because she called the school twice.
yeah, well, you still here's the thing. I don't have a whole lot of I don't feel for these people like that. I really don't, because when it's all said and done, if these hard right Republicans do not want to change the laws, they don't want to change the laws, they don't want to put any sort of protections in place. Somebody's got to pay the price and make these people wake up and realize it's worth paying attention to. And if this is what it's going to take, then let it be. If more folks start getting locked up because their kids are out here acting a plum fool and killing people, then all of a sudden maybe that's what it's going to take to make people respond. I'm just trying to, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's going to take, but maybe this is it. So yeah, the father, I saw him in the courtroom and he rocking back and forth, and he's so upset about the whole situation, and the mom also is upset. And you sit back and you say, hey,
By the
yeah.
way, she
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been arrested. What you're looking at is the extensive criminal record she has before. She's been arrested multiple times.
Mm.
Like she has a long history of
She
being
has a
arrested. So
long
it's not
history.
this kid didn't come from a good, healthy home.
Yeah.
And the father, why I know the father definitely going to jail, probably longer than the other parents whose name I can't think of right now. The two parents who from a while ago, this
Mhm.
dad had already gotten a visit from the FBI who said, yo, we see what your son's posting. We need to
Yeah.
make sure there's no guns in this home. They
Yeah.
went through, there were no guns in the home.
Yeah.
Then he bought him a gun for Christmas. After the FBI had already been there saying you cannot have weapons in the home. I know he maybe just, having some teenage angst and making these threats online, but we have to make sure that he's not going to do anything. And you bought him a gun anyway. So I'm
And so you're
sorry, but you're
going
going
to
to
jail.
jail.
And when we don't feel any remorse for why you're going to jail. You don't have control over the situation. And then the local news, I don't know which one it was. I think it was, I want to say it's 11 Alive, Channel 11. But I don't know if it was 11 or
The one who got the shooter as the black kid? WSJBN6.
no,
Hold on.
that's not one of the stations. It might have been WSB. May have been WSB,
Was
which
that
is the
it?
CBS affiliate, because that what you called out is not Atlanta. It's either
Hold on.
WSB, or Channel 11. So there's
Mistake.
2, there's 11, and then there is, what is the other one? But they posted one of the victims. One of the victims, there was a young black kid who was murdered, and they posted him as the shooter, and then they had to recant after they did that. And you just sit back and you just say, like who
WSB TV. That's what I kept thinking of. WSB
yeah,
TV.
yeah.
Yes.
So then you got to turn, and I just like, man, everybody's rushing to get the word out. Everybody's rushing to get this news out, and you're dead wrong. And then now you have this family who's been victimized. You victimized them twice by showing this kid. And here's the other thing: the first pictures that they released of this murderer it showed him when he was a little young kid, and he looked all innocent, like he was all small. No, he looked like the Joker with his long blonde hair and all of that. And then when they released the mug shots, and you start saying, oh, okay, so we're tired of this. We're tired of this as a community. We're tired of this as a society. What is it going to take? And maybe it's going to take these parents having to have the repercussions of having to deal with jail time along with their children if they commit these crimes.
And really quick with the SBTV situation, I don't think it was a racism situation. What I think is, and this is a problem with news in the age of social media, everybody's trying to be first.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares no longer about being accurate. It's just
Mm-hmm.
about who can be first, who can get the post, the likes, the engagement, so on and so forth. And a lot of people, oh, it's racism. It's no, it's just a really awful, consequence of having social media kind of run everything
Yeah.
and being the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it's really disappointing because, like you said, that family gets victimized twice. You find out your kid is dead,
Yeah.
and then you think, so Mike, where did he get a gun from? What are you talking about? He's a
right.
What do you mean? And the police are, and the police also are like, what are y'all talking about? Why?
Right.
It's really, really sad, and
It's really bad.
I think it's going to make for a very interesting trial for this young man because you can see he's coming from such a broken, messed up, jacked up situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to get off for this at all whatsoever.
Right.
But it is going to make sympathy because for school shooters, again, what I've known is that they're now convicting them pretty easily, but it's now between life in prison or the death penalty. And it's really fighting for, does this kid have value to stay alive or should he just be killed?
14 years old. He's being tried as an adult.
As an adult. They're all tried as an adult when they do school shootings now. All of them are.
Yeah, and of course you said you got the dad as well. You just feel sorry for this family. This is 40 miles from us. This is not far. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. I had a conversation with my girls. And there's memes and social and stuff that's going around in the communities that have my daughter's middle school on this list. My 2 daughters' middle schools on this list of schools who are next, right? And so you sit back and you say, how do you have this conversation, with kids? This is stuff that we didn't have to deal with, right? We had to worry about stranger danger. We had to worry about, kind of bullies in the school and, little fist fights here and there, but not where we are today. And anytime my kids come through the door, the first thing I do is I check on them. Hey, how's you doing? How's your day? And, we as teenagers do what they do, right? They're like, oh, it was fine, Dad. It was fine. And so now you have to really read through the lines and make sure there wasn't some circulation of conversations on social media that's got these kids scared out of their minds. It sucks, man.
And there was a second police shooting. There was a police shooting at Appalachian High School that happened. Ooh, don't make me say the day. Was it Thursday of last week? Wednesday of last week?
Wednesday or Thursday last week.
Well, on Friday, there was another shooting at a Maryland high school. Jalen Rayshawn Prince was arrested about 20 minutes after the shooting at Jopatown High School. I guess he got into a fight with another kid, and he shot the other kid. And again, it's a gun violence problem. I think we all know that it's a gun violence problem.
Yeah,
it's not
not been taught that these kids have not been taught how to cope with your differences outside of beyond fist fights, but. And the crazy thing about it, in that situation, just based on what I heard, that sounds like that might have been a one-off, one-on-one, I don't like you, pow pow,
Yeah, they was.
which is terrible as well. We understand that as a Gen Xer, you know, and I'm sure you as a millennial, we understand that stuff from growing up. Oh, we know that Ray Ray and Peanut over there got beef. If you see them close to each other, you better go the other way because them Negroes might get into something. This situation in Appalachia is like this kid may have been sitting in the back of the science class and somebody might have picked on him
Well, it
and
makes
then
me wonder
mm-hmm.
what happened to the guidance counselors. I remember when I was in school,
Yeah.
my guidance counselor and my grade administrator, Miss Palmetier, God rest her soul because she passed away,
Mm-hmm.
was all up in all of our business.
Yeah.
They knew everything about everybody. The school
Yeah.
counselor, we would go out and hang out in that office. And if there was a weird kid, they were more focused on the weird kid. And you'd see the
Yeah.
weird kid coming into the office and getting an attitude, but they would still call him back every time. What's
Mm-hmm.
happening with the school counselors in this day and age?
I think there's some limits to what they can do. You got a lot of people that's, you know, I watched a conversation, and maybe I'll see if I can find it. There's a doctor, I don't know if she's a doctor. Anyway, there was a social media clip I found, and she was talking about how we're raising adults now, we're raising kids, and that, you know, she kind of started off the conversation about the abduction, John Walsh and the kid being abducted in the 80s and saying everything changed in the 80s. Yeah. And so she started talking about the whole helicopter parenting thing and things of such, and saying that we're not really teaching kids how to cope. They don't know how to cope. Different than when, you know, me as a latchkey kid who, from the age of 6 years old, I was riding public transportation in DC. I'm thinking about it right now. I don't want my kids to walk down to the pool, which is a quarter of a mile away, without me watching them and looking on my phone to make sure I know where they are. I'm just as guilty as the next. But public school, from 6 years old, I was riding public transportation. I was walking to school every day in Virginia. But that was our generation. And so, yeah, we do fine. But then now, stuff like this doesn't help. What happened in Appalachia doesn't help me give my kids more freedom, because it's just so many nut jobs out here. And so
I also, and not to cut you off,
yeah.
I agree exactly what you're saying. I also feel like the school needs to be talking to the parents way more. Like with Devin, and you guys all hear me talking about my oldest son, Devin, who's 19 now. You know, he's in the, you know, adult side of training for his life. He's special needs. Not going to go all into all that. Right.
Yeah.
And they will sometimes not tell me stuff. And then I get on the call like, well, why didn't y'all tell me and his father? Why aren't y'all calling us? Why aren't you writing messages home? Oh, well, we thought we could handle it. No, you can't handle it, which is why you call me, his crazy black mama, to come to the school and embarrass him, to say, don't you ever come to the school and act like that. Right. The school isn't telling parents things. They don't want to violate the kids' privacy and all of the kind of stuff, but we need to know.
But you also said you also started this segment talking about the guidance counselors and what are they doing. They're the ones that were supposed to handle this stuff. There was stuff that happened at our schools growing up. I remember kids getting into fights and kids getting thrown in trash cans and all this type of stuff when we were kids in high school, right? And you sit back and you say, you know, there was never any, first of all, there was no email. So there was no quick way to send a letter home to my grandmother to say, you know, there was an incident at school today. If Miguel comes home and he's feeling a certain way, this is what happened. No. We in the neighborhood, we talked about, you know, crazy such and such over there, and he did X, Y, and Z, and it's a story I'm still telling 30 years later. But it wasn't something my grandmother never knew the story. My mom and dad never knew the story. There's kids, but that's stuff that's going to happen. So maybe in that scenario, they said, okay, let's try to handle this stuff. So we ain't got to see the crazy mama come up here and act a fool. But
it's weird. Because my father, who's older than you, has a completely opposite experience. My dad has an identical twin. Okay. And they were very, very attractive young men. Everybody tells a story about the Gainey twins because they were handsome or whatever. And they were bad. Like in high school, they were awful. The school was steady calling my grandparents' house all the time. Like you said, wasn't no email back then. They were steady calling the house. Yeah. Like my dad would say they were trying to catch the phone.
You just said it. You said your dad was bad. So I wasn't a bad kid. So no one
Larry
had to call.
And Larry Gainey. That's how you knew they was bad.
Larry and what?
Larry and Gary Gainey.
Larry and Gary. So maybe that was part. I don't have that in my history because I hooped and I hung out and I didn't get into any trouble while I was in school.
Okay,
But
they called my mom all the time because I was saying getting kicked off the bus because I told the bus driver, this is so bad. And my mom to this day was like, I can't believe you told her that. I told the bus driver, if you were more talented, you'd have a better job. And I got put off the bus.
I can see you saying that. You're just killing that person's self-esteem. That is such an assholic thing to say. As a teenage I would have put your ass off the bus as well. Like,
she put me off the bus in traffic. Like, let me tell you what happened. She put me off the bus in traffic, and my brother had to come get me because she like turned the corner. And I said what I said. I yelled it at her. I'm like, you're just a bus driver. You have no importance in life. You're a bus driver. If you did better in life, you'd have a better job. She stopped the bus, waited for my brother to come get me. And then I got suspended off the bus for 14 days.
You know what's so funny? I could hear Layla saying something like that. I'm trying to say it low because I want to hear.
I'm just saying. But again, the bus driver, not only did the school call my mom, the school called my mom. I then found out that the bus driver was friends with my mom, which I did not know until after this incident happened. And that was a wrap on that.
She on your kitchen table drinking some wine and looking at you like,
She called the house.
I'm sure.
And my mom was like, so what happened? So with the story you told me with the bus driver was mean to you, that's not what Yolanda just told me.
You like, who was Yolanda? The bus driver, Kia. My friend. All right. Let's move on. All right.
Let's move on.
All right. So
let's get into some Trump stuff.
So debate eve. So by this time tomorrow, we'll be getting ready for the debate between the felon and the prosecutor. They need to put that thing on the doggone flyer. I think I might create it. And so I think, who was it? It was, you saw the story today. Oh, what do you hear that dog out there? Do you hear that dog?
Yeah, is that your dog? I thought your dog was small. That dog sounds big.
Well, Saran is here with her dog.
So, okay. That sounds more accurate.
Yeah. So there is the doctor who was, I think, Trump's doctor, who is now running for Senate or a senator in Michigan. Ronnie Johnson is his name?
Jackson.
Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson. Yeah. That's a real black name to be such a racist. And so Ronnie Jackson decides he wants to tweet out today that the debate is going on. I'm paraphrasing. Debate is going on tomorrow, and that Trump is going to put Kamala Harris in her place. And I'm just wondering.
And you know how people responded? He surely is going to put her in a place in the White House. Yeah, that is her place. Thank you very much, Ronnie Jackson.
In her black job. But, you start to hear stuff like that, and you hear Trump talking about what did he say about the kids, his terrible answer, and then J.D. Vance trying to get grandparents to watch the kids instead of providing for child care. These misogynistic rascals, and then, of course, Liz Cheney comes out and calls them what they are, which is misogynistic SOBs, which they are.
Well, let me tell you about Trump's quote, because this was epic. He was asked a very direct question about how to improve child care costs for middle Americans, because that's a huge issue for families like me.
Yeah.
Miguel doesn't worry about it anymore, but back when the kids were small, child care is very, very expensive. Yeah. So he was asked a straightforward question. I'm only going to read part of this answer because it's about to go to gobbledygook land. So he said, well, I would do that. And we're sitting down, I was somebody. We had Senator Marco Rubio and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because look, childcare is childcare, couldn't, there's something you have to have in this country. I'll just scroll down because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about. And it just goes on and on. He never once.
So this is the person that half of this country, a little under half of this country, believes they want to be president. And I sit back and say, who are you people? Who are you people who listen to this guy who incoherently is trying to explain that this woman just broke it down so eloquently and just a layup. What exactly, sir, what is the policies you would like to present about? And then he went all around the bend talking about tariffs and making money and my family and my daughter. And they sat there, and as soon as he said, I think he must have said one of his famous MAGA lines to put a period on it. Make America great. Oh, yeah. They started clapping and applauding.
No, you're exactly right. His ending was, this is about America first. It's about Make America Great Again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation, so we'll take care of it. Thank you. Very great question. Very good question. Thank you. He didn't answer a damn thing. And listen, the answer to childcare is the answer to the childcare question is so easy when you think about it. You want to give tax incentives to corporations and large companies, then tell them you can get a tax write-off or an incentive if you add childcare into your building, so your employees don't have to worry about it. It's an easy answer.
Come up with a nice short lie that you intend on doing anything besides rambling for a minute and a half. And having everybody in there that's in there like, we're rooting for you. Because this was like, this was a friendly audience. This was like a room full of ultra wealthy rich people. There were not going to be any boos or jeers or nothing. They were just waiting for you to say
or follow-up questions.
Just no follow-up, no nothing. They just wanted you to come out here and say something that made some sense, and you finish it up talking about your daughter, talking about tariffs, talking about everything, but we're going to put some Legos in the corner of my office, and that we're going to pay for them. And that would have gotten enough applause, but no.
I know.
But
we're going to turn the White House for the People's White House and go turn it into a daycare center. Okay, great. Yes.
Right. Hey, we know you're not going to do it, but hey, yeah. So.
But let me tell you, which answer was worse? His answer to childcare or J.D. Vance's answer to childcare?
J.D. Vance talking about getting the grandparents to watch the kids. At the same time, he's supporting raising the retirement age to 70 years old. So now you want your 70-year-old grandmother to take care of the kids after they work for half a day or a full day to make sure they can pay for their medicines that you don't think should be cheaper than what they are. Man, please, Lord.
And let me tell you, I come from a very privileged situation, and Miguel knows this. When I got pregnant with the twins, I was lucky that Big B Blanche had already retired from her job. And after COVID, she had gone through a year and a half of isolation. She was ready to come to my house and take care of babies. She was just so happy to be out the house. And that's a blessing. My mother-in-law also had retired because she wanted to take care of her ailing grandparents. And it lined up to when, my husband's grandmother had passed.
Yeah.
And my husband's grandfather, he needed to get out more. And the babies really livened up his life when they would come to the house. So it worked out that way. My mother-in-law still helping me. But everybody's family doesn't have that type of blessing.
Everything you just mentioned is a privilege. And it's nice
that your
families can stay connected. But it's not a plan.
No,
it's not a plan.
It's not a plan.
No, it's not a plan. Like my in-laws ain't sitting still to be watching my kids. Now, mind you, I say all that. My mother-in-law was amazing for us. Moved from Milwaukee to Arkansas, lived with us to take care of the kids, and even to the point she fired one of our nannies when they were young. Just said, no, she got to go. I'm moving, and we were like, okay.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll see you in a little few days.
Is that is not the norm.
It's not.
There are people who are working until the day they die. There are people who don't have the resources to stop and say, I'm just going to come in here and help you with these kids. That's what we pay taxes for. And if we pay
even outside of that, grandparents don't always want to just be taking care of your kids all day. They've worked all their life to do the fun stuff. Like my husband has a friend, his parents are not wealthy, but well off. And the daughter has asked him about watching kids. And they're just like, no, you guys can come and visit. That's great. But we have a cruise plan. We have this plan. We have this vacation plan. There's certain grandparents. It shouldn't be a burden. It should be a choice. It should be a choice for a grandparent to come help.
Absolutely. Understand that I have been taking care of people. Now, mind you, my grandmother was taking care of me, but in the latter part of her life, she was elderly, and I was taking care. I've been taking care of people, managing checkbooks, cleaning houses, cooking for myself, doing everything since I was 10 years old. By the time these youngins have some kids, they're going to have to catch me and Trey and get on our calendar. You better send over a meeting invite and check the calendar to see if we available.
Layla, Michelle, they're lying. That's not true. They're gonna be so happy when y'all get married and have babies. They're gonna be the first ones on y'all couch. Don't get me wrong now. During the summertime, y'all not gonna be able to catch them.
Man,
but during regular time,
man, they gonna look on the family calendar like, hold up. Oh, they in France.
Nah, y'all not. And you know what? It's funny because I feel like you and Trey are going to be the type of good, well-off grandparents. And be like, well, we bought a house in the south of France. You want me to watch your kids? They coming with us. Like, we're not staying here. They're going to go to the expat summer school in France, and that's it.
I can see that. I can see that. See that. My wife is already. I can't wait to take these kids to Europe. I'm like, we got some work to do, but we're gonna get there. But I'm gonna have some time. I'm not trying to be. As we perfect transition to Kia and her hashtag F them kids. Because that's one of her hashtags. Huh?
You know my Bryan McKnight?
Well, I don't know. You don't want to put the hashtag on the list.
We just went over it. JD, the hashtag was JD. That was for JD Vance and Trump.
That was the F them kids hashtag of the show?
Kids, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So that was your F them kids.
But we can go into Bryan McKnight, who's also.
So let's also talk about Bryan McKnight, Bryan McKnight is just like, you want to talk about fall from grace. This brother could not sell out the Waffle House right now.
Not the Waffle House.
This brother. So go ahead and set it up. No, I ain't got no video because my video, everything acting crazy.
We don't have any video because we're having technical difficulties. But if you go to Bryan McKnight's Instagram page, he started his new thing. Excuse me, sorry. Fatherhood Fridays. And on Fatherhood Fridays, he stop, Miguel. I gotta get it out. I'm trying to talk and say it.
What?
On Fatherhood Fridays, the sole purpose of sharing his fatherhood journey and highlighting other men who are exceptional examples of what a great father should be. In the beginning, he mentioned, and this is just, I'm reading this because remember, I watched this video. He mentioned he was supposed to be joined by a special guest named Rick. But since he was a no-show, he assumed he wasn't man enough to come on and face him. I feel like Rick realized this is going to be a horrible thing for whoever Rick is to be a horrible image for me going on this platform. I'm not doing it. But the reason why this is so bad is because Bryan McKnight has older children. We all know he has older children, and he is completely written off.
Everybody, we always assume everybody knows what's going on. Bryan McKnight has said F his kids from his first wife.
His older kids.
His older children. Yes. They are having a huge issue. I think it's 2, right? I think it's a boy and a girl, I believe.
So he has a boy. He has 3 kids from his wife that are all boys.
First wife.
And then he had a daughter outside of the marriage who he said doesn't count because she was outside of wedlock. So
doesn't he have kids with his new wife?
He has 1 kid with a new wife, but the new wife had stepkids, and he claims those as his children.
He treats the stepkids better than his own. All right. Yes. So Bryan McKnight, Mr. You know what's so funny? And I don't know if you remember when he first did that song with Big Pun back in the day. We were like, "Wow, Bryan McKnight making a song with Big Pun. They don't match. Like, why would he go?
What
do a
song was that?
I don't want to be a player no more. Or was that Joe? Bryan McKnight. No, Bryan
Joe.
McKnight did a hip hop. Huh? Joe.
That was Joe.
But Bryan McKnight did one with Big Pun as well. Point being is that we used to think we used to have Bryan McKnight at a certain tier. You know, I'm a huge Take 6 fan. His brother was a member of Take 6. I remember Take 6 was out first. Bryan McKnight came out afterwards. Oh, bro, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now he done got to the point where he should be in his linen pants summer concert part of his career. And
straight linen pants. Linen suit.
This should be the easiest money he's ever made in his life. He's in his 50s. You know, he
still looks good.
It still looks great. Should be able to go out every summer, make his money 3 months out of the year, chill 9 months out of the year, write some songs, chill out, enjoy your family. No, this dude wants to treat his children in public like trash. And the worst thing you're gonna do with an audience full of black women is treat a bunch of kids like trash, a bunch of black kids.
Exactly.
Like trash.
That's what he miscalculated. And he keeps saying, "Oh, they disrespected me and they did this and they didn't do that." Yeah, so a lot of kids do that. Like, that's a lot of people's kids. Look. Here's a perfect example: the Bush daughters. Before they got good, what they are now, the Bush daughters was drunk, crazy while their dad was president, getting arrested, all kinds of stuff. Remember that era? If their dad would have written them off then, and now we're looking at them, why are you praying the crickets? It really happened.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. You asked me, did I remember? I don't remember nothing about them Bush girls.
Oh, well, they were drunk, getting arrested, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Their dad didn't write them off. And now both of those daughters are very successful. One of them's on the Today Show, for God's sake. You can't just write off your kids because they do stuff you don't like. And what makes
Right.
it even worse is that one of his sons, I think it's Nico McKnight, one of the McKnight sons, is battling stage 4 cancer.
Oh, wow.
And his dad does not care. Like, famous people have actually come out online and said, yo, what are you doing? Your son is practically dying right now, and you do not care. You're not mentioning him. So what if your kids, again, I love my mom and my friends' parents can say the same thing. We mess up as children. Our parents, my mother would never just write me off. She'd be annoyed and she'd be mad at me for a little bit, but she
Right.
wouldn't just write me up and say, oh, you're not my child anymore.
I
And
can't
claiming
imagine. I don't care how mad I'll give any of my children for whatever reason as they become. I can't imagine my child in stage 4 cancer, and I'm not doing everything. My life will stop to make sure that child is comfortable and is provided for. But some people are who they are. They really are who they are. We got to stop putting these celebrities on pedestals and expect them to be something that they're not. Bryan McKnight is.
But why dig the wound deeper? Like, you are an artist that needs this money. Unless his wife is a doctor, which is great. That's fantastic. His wife is a doctor.
Right.
But that money can only go so far. It only lasts so long. You guys have houses in Hawaii. He has houses here.
You're making money off of performances, and you can't sell out a Waffle House.
A Waffle House. That's a huge deal.
And you got people who won't book you on these other shows with these other linen wearing jazz concert. They like, oh no, bro, we can't have you on this show. You are
everybody going on Tamron Hall. Everybody's going on the Tamron Hall show. You bet not. No, Tamron's gonna say no. Everybody in his age group now was going with their family, blended or not, on Family Feud, Celebrity Family Feud.
Absolutely.
Steve Harvey's not gonna have you on Celebrity Family Feud.
Nobody having you nowhere. They're telling you go on that way, go smoke some Newports and keep it moving because your life is trash. Think about how much artists like Chrisette Michele have pretty much fell off the Mac because she just did one concert for Donald Trump. Now
I feel bad about Chrisette though. I really do.
I do as well. And
I feel bad about Chrisette.
My point is that with black folk, it's hard to come back when you're on the outside looking in. And so he is in that position now, and I don't think there's any coming back for Bryan McKnight.
Because he keeps making it worse. Chrisette hasn't made it worse. Meaning, if Chrisette they put her on some show on WeTV, or if she sang at, maybe she'll sing at Kamala's inauguration. Change like that, no one cares anymore. But Bryan, if she sings at Kamala's, by the way, my mother-in-law corrected me. She's like, "That's not how you pronounce. It's not Kamala, it's Kamala." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Thanks for anyway." But with Bryan McKnight. She did. She told me and my husband we were stupid. She's like, that's not how you pronounce that.
We had a conversation offline. Can we talk about this conversation we had?
You can.
So I'm sitting here, and here comes Omar into the screen. And first of all, where is all this Kamala coming from? Her name is Kamala in Indian language, and I'm sitting back throwing my hands up like, hey, bro, I'm gonna respect whatever, but I'm just telling you hey. And so then your Indian mother says, both of y'all shut up because you're wrong.
She's like, what are you two talking about? The name is, it's Kamala. Kamala is a real name. What are you talking about? I was like, all right, well, you're the originator of this, so I'm wrong.
I want to meet your mother-in-law so bad. I want some of her curry. I know it's going to be good.
You do. You definitely do. But Bryan keeps making it worse. And if I was his wife or his kids, and maybe they're scared, maybe there's an issue going on, but if I knew what everybody else knows, or that I have half brothers and sisters or step brothers and sisters, I wouldn't be pro this. I wouldn't be pro his
current wife, or you talking about his current wife?
Yeah, his current wife. I wouldn't be okay with this.
Yeah,
I would think this is weird.
Yeah, it is. And so, here's the thing. And if I'm her, I'm just like, I married you because you Bryan McKnight, and because I knew you was gonna make $500,000 a summer running around here singing, and now you can't sing at the doggone Candle Factory because nobody wants to book you for nothing. So now, if you
He
don't
can
know how to do
even get a
nothing
state
else,
fair right now. He can even get a state fair.
you better go out there and write some songs and pass them on to somebody and get some bread. That they can make money like that quietly. Or
And
maybe,
maybe that's how the only way he's making money, which is a good
maybe.
point that you just made. He's making money off royalties from songwriting because we know he's
Yeah,
written
sure.
between him and Babyface. There was a moment they were all just writing all the
Oh,
songs.
I ain't putting him in the Babyface class.
Well, no,
Babyface
I
wrote a whole
mean,
generation of music. But I get it. Maybe that's how he's still making money. But at this point, as long as you're treating your cancer-ridden child with like trash, I don't give a damn how you make a dime for the rest of your days. All right.
you ready
Where
for
we
one
going?
more story?
Where
What?
we going? Where we going?
Beyonce trends after Cowboy Carter album was not nominated for any CMA awards, Country Music Awards. Let me tell y'all something. The album was not good. It wasn't. It wasn't. But her
Do you
goal
even
wasn't
like
for the
country
album.
music?
I
Do
do
you
like
even
country
like country
music.
music? Hmm.
Me and my children's favorite song is Buckle Bunny. It's an inappropriate song for
That's
3-year-olds to sing.
one song.
Shania Twain is amazing. Reba McEntire is amazing. Would
So
you
go
like
ahead
me
and
to?
go
You're
ahead with
still
your
the one
Beyonce
I
trash. Go ahead
run
with your Beyonce
to.
trash and Beyonce, and then I'm gonna come with my response. Go ahead, finish your Beyonce trash.
There's
'Cause she
even
didn't.
you want me to go through there's another black artist whose name I can never think of, but I play her song all the time. She sings the song Louisiana. She has red hair. She's a black girl. Louisiana, born in the backwoods. Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying. Anyway, so Beyonce was not nominated for a CMA. Beyonce does not care. Beyonce's goal wasn't to win a CMA award. Her goal, I feel like, was to bring light to a lot of other black country music artists who are not getting the same play. For example, Shabuzi. I think you know
Is
this. Do
that
you know
the
the Shabuzi?
who remade the Tipsy?
Yes.
Okay, I'm familiar with
I don't think
Shabuzi,
it's
kind of. But the hook is called. He came out and performed with
called the
him
bar
somewhere,
song. It's called the bar
huh?
song. Called the bar song.
Yeah, but he brought it's a direct. He even brought out the guy who originally did Tipsy on either the BET Awards or something, and they performed together because he used a hook from Tipsy in that song.
Oh,
He used
okay.
lyrics from
I don't
Tipsy
know
in
what.
that song. Yes.
But either way, Shabuzi, the bar song, is nominated
Yeah.
for Song of the Year at the CMAs.
Okay.
So she's brought a lot of light to black country artists, and I think that was always the goal. I don't think
Yeah.
it was for Beyonce to win a CMA. I don't think she cares about being nominated. I don't think she cared
Yeah.
about being on airplay, but her fans are psychotic, so they harass these stations to get the
Right.
songs played.
Right.
But
That's the reason why she probably
I
did
don't get
it.
why people are making that big of a deal about it.
Because they ain't got nothing else to do.
Okay.
Because this is country. Here's the thing. When Eminem got nominated, I'm sure he got nominated before for Grammys or Ice Ice Baby Dude or whatever. Like just country people don't want a bunch of black people getting awards, and that's their music. I am so fine with people enjoying their own culture, right? People who love currently, now everybody won't go back to country music started with black folks. I get all that.
We get all that. Where we got it.
We get
We hear
it.
you.
We hear you. Right now, country music is a primarily white country, middle of the country type of music. That's who loves it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need my favorite artist to go over there and make, or a bunch of black artists to make a bunch of impact in country music. Now, I've always respect the lyricism, the songwriting credits of country artists. I think they write amazing songs, right? A lot of feeling, a lot of heart in it. My man Craig King with Rap Plug, he's managing a group of black girls who got an album coming out. All black girls. They got a nice social media following. They're doing well. Whoever the audience is, they'll find them. Beyonce, as you said, did exactly what she wanted to do. She brought attention to the original culture of the music. Beyonce's at the point she can do whatever she wants to do.
Whatever she wants.
She went from a house music album to a disco album to a pop album, and now she did a country album. She might do jazz standards next. And you know what?
Now that I would buy.
The Beehive will be messing around, and they'll be out there in line, first thing, talking about, woo, this jazz standards, whatever this stuff is they talking about. I like this. You had no idea what jazz standards were before
Remember
Beyonce
when
did.
Queen Latifah came out with her jazz standard album?
Man, I got songs of Queen Latifah singing. I play is in my regular rotation right now. Because
I can.
there's a story behind that. Because when her brother passed away, Give Me Five on the Black Hand Side, that album, the last song on that album was the first time she did a jazz song on her album, and it was so amazing. I can't remember the name of the song right now. If I had my phone, I'd pull it up. But and then she kind of disappeared. She went into acting, she was doing Living Single and all of that. But then she started making these jazz albums that hip hop folks was not paying no attention to. And I'm sitting back and saying, this woman is so talented.
But weren't they nominated for she was nominated for that album for best jazz vocal album. And that album is certified gold.
She did a dope song when she made a record with Al Green. That was amazing. She did a dope song with Al Green. Simply Beautiful, which was dope. So yeah, and so anyway, so these artists are showing their versatility. A lot of them are trained in ways that we don't understand. You know, I want to say Latifah went to a musical art school, like when she was in high school.
She did.
And so she was already trained to do what she's doing. She's extremely talented. LL Cool J just dropped a new album last week. He took forever to drop it, and he dropped. We got some amazing artists that are in our community. But when it's all said and done, I don't give a doggone about Beyonce not getting no CMA award. Let them people have their awards. We ain't got to have everything. You know what I mean? No. When we look at right now, people are arguing, and I'm transitioning about Kendrick Lamar just announcing that he's going to do the Super Bowl.
That's the last thing I had on my list, yeah.
Kendrick Lamar just announced he's going to do the Super Bowl. And here comes Nicki Minaj and Birdman. I don't even think Lil Wayne has said anything. They're saying stuff on behalf of them. No. Well, it's in New Orleans.
And his manager. It's Lil Wayne. His manager is the one that something along with Nicki Minaj and Birdman. Nobody else outside of that.
They're out here talking about that they in New Orleans, so Lil Wayne should have been doing the halftime show. White folks who watching the NFL do not want to see Lil Wayne standing up there doing anything for 15 minutes. He might have one or two little hooks, but we're just coming off of a summer with Kendrick Lamar.
Every white person knows they not like us.
Everybody knows not like us. And he's also coming off of records like Freedom with Beyonce that the future president is using. You're talking about Humble. You're talking about some records that
Loyalty with Rihanna. Loyalty. That's my jam.
Kendrick Lamar can carry 15 minutes because that's what it is. It's a 15-minute set that America will be engaged with. America is not going to be engaged with police officer, Miss Police. No. And don't get me wrong. Lil Wayne is Lil Wayne. I've never been a huge fan.
Lil Wayne is very much us. He's very much black.
He's very much black, and he's very much millennial black, right? Like some of us as Gen Xers, we respect Wayne, but we don't know his records like that. It's so now you're talking about a market that is millennials, it's primarily black, or people who love hip hop culture. So you're talking about a smaller universe. No, this is a worldwide show, which is the Super Bowl.
And you keep leaving off the South part. Lil Wayne is big in the South. California people.
Yeah.
Well, no. California people know a couple of songs. They like a couple of songs. They respect Wayne. In New York, they respect Wayne. They know a couple of songs. But if he had to do a full 15-minute set,
Wayne is well known in the black and hip hop community. He
been around, but I'm saying knowing songs word for word.
30 years, Wayne. It's crazy because he started so young. He started so young.
He started at 15.
No, 12. He was
12
and 13 years old when Lil Wayne first hit the scene. He was super young. So he's been around, if not 30, he's almost at 30 years. He's pushing it. He's at least 25, I know. But he's not that artist that everybody that white folks will want to see at the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. And people can sit up and jump in the comments or say what you want to say. It ain't true. And then the other thing, of course, you got people who draw lines in the sand. For people who may not know, Lil Wayne is responsible for giving us, signing Nicki Minaj and Drake. They both started off on his label from the beginning, Young Money. And so then there's that. That people are saying the line has been drawn about that. It's just ridiculous, man. We got to stop expecting all the people.
By the way, he was 15. It was 15 when he joined the Hot. When he came out with his first song for the Hot Boys. He tried to kill himself when his mother told him that he couldn't be a part of the Hot Boys at the age of 12.
Okay, I knew I heard about him before that, probably mixtapes or whatever. But we got to stop expecting people to enjoy what we enjoy. I got family members who love Elvis. I have no love for Elvis, but I do not crap on them because they love Elvis. It is what it is.
It's Elvis.
You know what I mean? You know, there are people. There's artists that people, black folks that love different type of music. Like there's a whole argument I saw online the other day about how nobody plays Jay-Z in LA. Nobody in the West Coast plays Jay-Z. Jay-Z ain't big out here. Okay. Jay-Z may not be big in LA, but he big everywhere else. And so
he's big everywhere else.
If y'all want to ride with that, good luck with that, because selling 18 million records and 30 plus whatever Grammys or whatever that he's amassed, I think Jay-Z's good. So we got to get off that thing. All right, anything? Do I get to play my what today, or do we have anything?
We did.
Huh?
It was Bryan McKnight.
Oh, I didn't get to play my what for Bryan.
it was Bryan McKnight was our what.
Tyreek Hill. Before we get up out here, Tyreek Hill got arrested outside of the Miami Dolphins football stadium, and so.
Thank you, intern Alexis, for dropping 50 billion stories on our list, and that's how this show ended up like this. But me and Miguel are going to try to maybe go live sometime on Instagram or something so we can talk about these little random stories. And Tyreek Hill's story is not random. The police officer's been put on leave, unpaid leave. Boy. We got to get off the show. I got to go talk to him. His mom's going to yell at him when she comes to the house tomorrow. She's going to yell.
All right. We appreciate y'all.
Love you guys. See you next